everybody, this is a video that I'm really excited about. This is his gear video. Like I said in my intro video, if you watch that, I am a gearholic, so I love gear. He has a lot of it. So as you can see behind me, I've got his gear, most of it. Some of it we had to leave in storage in Rexburg because I ended up bringing too much. And so some of it you will get to see when we get back up to college in September. But, so yeah, let's get started. Start with leashes. So this is, oh, where's the end? This is what's called a slip lead. This is just like rope, and it's just a very basic, I don't know how long it is, but it's just a very basic leash. This is for if we're maybe going out to go potty or something, and I just brushed him so his collar isn't on, and I just need to run out to go potty really quick. I don't usually walk him on this very often, but it is just really basic. It just slips over if they're not wearing a collar. And this guy right here slides, so you can make it smaller or bigger depending on how big your dog's neck is. So that's a slip lead. That one's really simple. This is a long line, is what it's called. It is 30 feet long, and it's not very wide, it's pretty narrow. It's made out of biothane, so it is biothane coated webbing, so it's like water resistant and like stain resistant and that kind of stuff. This is for like if we go to the park and I want to let him just run and play and have some space. This is 30 feet long, and this keeps him safe because he's still on a leash, so he can't like get away, so he's still safe, but it also gives him that freedom. So this is a 30-foot long line. I got this one on Amazon for like 35 bucks. These are really good to have because I'm not even going to show you a flexi lead because those are really dangerous, and I don't even have to explain why. Please don't use flexi leads on even your pet dogs. If you want them to have distance and space, please use a long line. It's just a lot safer for everybody. So this is a long line. Okay, this is a regular 6-foot leash. It's just regular nylon. This is a leash that I like to use just because it's red, so it's like bright and visible. Sometimes I will kind of loop it over my body like this and just put the strap through here and just kind of wear him like a purse. But this is a 6-foot, just regular leash. This is one that I use a lot. This is his waist leash. I really like this one. I actually made this one. So this part right here buckles around my waist, and then there's this part that attaches to it. There's a buckle so it can just come off if I want it to be just a regular leash. Wow, if I can get it buckled. There we go. So it just buckles back on. I have made these to where the leash itself is an adjustable length as well, but this one I like to use because it says service dog. It's printed on the nylon, so that's really nice because if I just want to run into somewhere really quick and I don't feel like putting any gear on him, this still identifies him as a service dog. It's really helpful that it's a waist leash too, because this means that I don't have to hold on to a leash, so I can be hands-free if I need both of my hands. So that's really helpful. So that's his leashes. Collars. And I have to ask my friend if she's okay with me advertising for her, so I will post in the comments if she, or the description if she's okay with that. But all of his collars are made by a friend of mine who is also disabled and also has a small business making collars and leashes and all kinds of things for dogs and cats and pets. So I highly recommend her. And again, I will ask her before I advertise for her. But all of his collars are made by her. What's really nice about them is their fabric. So I can get any kind of fabric that I like, any kind of pattern. It's really fun, and then she lines it with silk. So it's really, really soft, and it glides on his fur better so that it doesn't mat his fur, which is really nice because poodles tend to mat a lot easier with regular collars. So I like the fact that hers are like silk lined because it just helps him not mat. I also have a little tag on there that says service dog because, again, sometimes I like to work him without gear if I'm just running in somewhere really quick. So that just kind of identifies him. But this is his St. Patrick's Day one. He has a holiday collar for almost every holiday. I left most of those up in Rexburg, but I can show you those later. So that's his St. Patrick's Day one. This is the one that he wears like every day, kind of just like basic everyday collar. Let's see what's next. Okay, so this is something that's really important, and a lot of people don't like this. This is a muzzle. This is a Ultra is the brand. There's also, it's Bakersville is what it is, Bakersville Ultra. It goes on, as you can see, there's a gap here and there's a gap up here, so the dog can still breathe, and the dog can even lick and pant, drink water, eat with this muzzle on. The only thing this prevents is biting. And I personally think that muzzle training is very, very important for any dog, because even for a service dog, any dog can become unpredictable when they are injured or they are afraid or whatever happens. So it is very wise to get your dog a muzzle and to muzzle train them. And I can do a video on that if you guys want, how to desensitize your dog to a muzzle. The best kind are these basket muzzles, are what they're called, because like I said, the dog can still pant, they can still open their mouth, they can still drink, they can still eat. So these ones are really good. They also make cloth muzzles, but those kind of hold the mouth shut, so those are better for more temporary use. I got this one because Kismet had a little cyst on his teeth when he was younger, and it had to be removed, and he ended up ripping the stitches out because he was playing with Casey, and he likes to just kind of mouth when he's playing. So I got him a muzzle so that he could heal correctly. If he hadn't been muzzle trained and the muzzle was aversive to him, he would have had a really hard time healing in that situation. So sometimes your dog just needs a muzzle, even if it's a good dog. So I highly recommend muzzle training your dog, and I highly recommend a cage muzzle because they're safest. The dog can pant and drink and all those things. So muzzle training, it's very important. Let's see what's next. Okay, so this is just his really basic vest. I just recently got this one. It is Active Dogs is the brand, but I really like it's got this giant do not pet thing on the side. I've heard people read this out loud and they're like, oh, it says do not pet, and so they don't, which is really nice because a lot of times people don't read patches. But this is the vest that I just kind of throw on him if I'm running in somewhere really quick. I did not make anything that is on this vest. These are all patches that I bought. I don't remember where I got this patch. This patch is Patience and Love 143, I think it is, on Etsy. And I think this one is Patience and Love as well, but I know I got this one on Etsy as well. But these are just basic patches. I love this one because I'm not here for your entertainment. I'm here to do my job. Because a lot of people think as soon as they see a dog, oh, it's a dog, I'm obligated to pet it. No. No. So this is just a really basic vest. I like this to just like slip on if we're just running in somewhere really quick. It's easier to put on than a harness is. It's got like this nice little handle on it that I can use for grounding or just momentum pull if I have to, but mostly just grounding. So this is his basic just slip on, run in somewhere really quick vest. Okay. This is a vest that I'm really proud of. So this is a harness and cape set that I made. This is vinyl and it's white, but when you turn the lights off, it glows blue. And if you know me, glow in the dark is my favorite color. So this thing is glow in the dark. The harness is glow in the dark. And then check out this bad boy. So this one took me several months of like mock-ups to build. I also have a collar that matches this that has the same comedy and tragedy masks on it, but that is, I think, in Rexburg, unfortunately, so I can't show you that. But it was made by my friend that makes the collars. She did a vinyl of the masks, and then she sent me that file, and I used that file to make the same exact pattern for the vest. So, for the cape. So this cape is really special. This is the one that we wear when we go to see shows together, when we go see plays. So we've got one from Mary Poppins. That was the very first play that we went to together. This one's from Anastasia. And then this one is just from a Zumba class that we went to for some downstay training. I can explain that in another video, but the teacher gave me that when we left the class, so that was really fun. But this is the same vinyl that's glow in the dark. It's really cool in the dark. I'll see if I can find some pictures of that for you guys. But what's cool is I made it like a zipper pocket on top, and then I made it super padded on the back. So when I put a patch, or when I put a pin on here and the pin has that big huge nasty back on it, it's got padding in the back, so it's not going to bother him. So I'm really proud of this set. This set took me several months to like mock up and figure out and make, but it's like my favorite. It's so beautiful because I'm a theater nerd, so that's what we get. This is another thing that I think is very, very, very important, and I want to stress. That's Casey. Hi, Casey. This is my failed service dog, but she's a good girl. So this is a car harness. This one is Sleepy Pod. Sleepy Pod is one of only, I think there's like one other harness brand that is crash tested. I have this leash wrap on here that is from Patience and Love as well. And the stitching is glow in the dark. But I think it is very, 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 very important to have your pet restrained in the car, whether they're a service dog or not. It just blows my mind that people allow their dog to run around in the car, hang halfway out the window. You slam on the brakes, you're in an accident, your dog becomes a projectile. Emergency medical technicians call a dog that is not restrained a projectile because it can hit you in the head, it can go through the windshield, it becomes a flying object. It's no longer a pet. So if you want your dog to be safe, please, please, please get them a car harness. This one is Sleepy Pod. Like I said, this is one of the only ones that's crash tested and safe. A lot of the harnesses that are advertised as crash tested, look up and watch the videos, because when the harness encounters an accident, it just snaps. It's not strong, it breaks, and the dog again flies off the seat. The Sleepy Pod keeps the dog on the seat and keeps them safe. They don't have these for smaller dogs. They're usually just for medium to large size dogs. The small size barely fits Casey. But for smaller dogs, they do have other systems that are crash safe. But please, please, please keep your animal restrained in the car. You know, it's very important to me. I can't imagine being in an accident and having my dog either injured, becoming a projectile, or escaping the vehicle and getting hit by another car in an accident. So that's just very important to me. This is his car harness. He wears this every time he's in the car. So there's that. Now that we're done with the serious business, this is a rough wear. I forget exactly what, I think it's like the windbreaker or something. I don't know what it's called. But this is his raincoat. It's a rough wear brand, and I embroidered service dog on it because in Rexburg sometimes when it's like really snowy and it's like big huge wet flakes, I don't want him to get wet and smelly. And so I embroidered service dog on this because I will put this on over all of his gear and walk to campus with this so that he doesn't get wet and smelly. It's also good for when it actually rains, you know, but like I was up in the snow in Idaho, so we'll use this when it's snowing. It's a rough wear brand. I really like rough wear. So yeah, there's that. Let's see. So here is just a basic harness that I made. This is fleece and webbing. A lot of people use these for like light guide work that does not include pulling. I put loops and D-rings on here so that I can put a pull strap through here to use it for grounding and light guide work, which I'll explain in tasking video later. But I made this harness. This is just a really basic one, and it's embroidered service dog, so this is again something that I can just throw on him if we're running in somewhere really quick and I don't feel like putting his leather harnesses on him. Here we go. Boots. Boots are another thing that's very important for a service dog, or for any dog. If you would not be walking barefoot, your dog should not be walking barefoot, and that includes the cold and the heat. So he has Muttlux brand because his feet are super long, and Muttlux measures by length, whereas Rough Wear does have really good boots. They measure by width, and because Kismet's feet are so long, the Muttlux work better for him. But this is just a really good boot. It's very flexible. He can hardly even tell this is on when he's wearing it. He doesn't tap dance or anything funny. But if you can't put your hand back or the front on the pavement for more than like a second and a half without feeling it too hot to take it off, please put foot protection on your dog. That's very important. He has, in Idaho, he has booties that just slip on for the ice. Those boots are for summertime. But in Rexburg, he has some booties that we use for the ice. Because again, ice melt and frozen ground, you wouldn't be walking barefoot on that either. Ice melt can actually burn a dog's paws because it's melting the ice. Another thing we use up in Idaho are these leg protectors. And yes, they look very, very silly, but it's just, it's like padding right here so that it doesn't slip down, and there's a drawstring in here, and then the bottom is elastic. So I'll put his booties on him, and then I'll put these on his legs. And what this does is it keeps his legs from getting nasty and disgusting from the slushy, nasty grossness from walking on the sidewalks and the roads in Rexburg when it snowed. Because I don't want my service dog to be muddy and nasty and gross because I can't be washing him every single day, and I want him to be clean when we go in places. So this is only one of the 4, obviously, but he gets these leg protectors, and when we get up to Idaho, I will show you the ridiculous process that he has to go through to get dressed and undressed. These are his leg protectors. So last but not least, we have his Yup harnesses. These are my favorite. This is handmade Italian leather. So it's padded leather on the inside. This is a Y-front harness, and it's a guide style, so it has guide loops. This is his BYU style harness because it's the BYU colors, blue and white and gold. This is actually brass hardware. But on the harness, I have this poop bag holder that holds poop bags because you always need poop bags. This is a handle that I made. This is not a patch that I made. I don't remember where I got this patch, but it was on Etsy. But I made this handle. This handle is a little stiff, so I don't use it as often, but I use it for guide and momentum pull, which again, I will explain in a task video later. But Yup Collars is incredible. They're Italian. Every leash, every collar, every harness, which they do pet and service dog gear, is handmade and hand painted. So this leather is hand painted. It's just absolutely incredible. A lot of people have a lot of bad things to say about Yup, but I have never had a problem with them. The problems that people have with them is that the leather colors aren't exactly what they wanted, or sizing was wrong, or whatever, and usually it's the person ordering it that had an error. I've never had a problem with Yup. They've always been incredible. So this is his school harness. I figured since he was the reason I was able to go to college, he needed a college themed harness. He also has a cape that goes on this harness that's actually up in Rexburg, so I'll show you that later, but it's got the college fabric on it, the BYU print fabric on the harness, or on the vest, so that's really cool. This is his college one. And this is his everyday Yup that I use when we're not at the campus. So I did make this cape. I did not make these patches. This is my favorite patch though, because it's visual, so it's easier to see. I did not make these patches, but I made this cape. Again, he has a poop bag holder on here, and this is a different style of Y-front because the shoulders come up higher, whereas the other ones are placed down here more. But it's still a guide style, so it's got the loops. This one is a rolled leather pull strap. It's very flexible. This can be used for guide work and or momentum pull, and I use that for both of them. But guys, check this out. This is hand painted leather, and yes, it's leather dye, but it's hand painted, and that's what I love about Yup. Each of their harnesses is handmade, and they sent me an example of this to make sure it was exactly the look that I wanted and the colors that I wanted before I ordered it. So these harnesses are not cheap. But if you're looking for a very high quality harness for your pet or service dog, I highly recommend Yup. You can't do heavy mobility with these harnesses, but they're really good for like guide work and momentum pull and light mobility, things like that. They also have straight front harnesses for more like guide dog type work, but since we just do light guide work, this one works better because when he's doing momentum pull, it puts all of the pressure where he's pulling right on his chest, and that's where you want the pressure to be when your dog is pulling you. So this is his Yup harness, his rainbow accent one, and it is my favorite, and I just love it because these harnesses are so well made. My video is getting kind of long. We are almost done. Okay, so this is got this on Amazon. It's just a fanny pack, and I wear this everywhere I go with him because inside here we have treats. We have a traffic loop is what this is called. I use this when he's doing work that he needs to be off leash. This is just something that's really quick for me to grab, so he still technically has something that I can easily grab in addition to his pull strap on the harness. He's got treats in here. He's got poop bags because you always need poop bags. There's poop bags on his harness and in here. And I also have a head collar. I believe I got this one on Amazon. Head collar can be a good training tool. For him, he's never pulled, and so excuse me, so we don't use it for pulling, we use it for attention. So he just like, he has a very powerful nose and he likes to kind of smell things sometimes, and he gets a little distracted sometimes. So this just helps him kind of stay focused when he's a little bit maybe in a new environment or just having a problem focusing. So that's what this is for. This is just his head collar, and I just use this to help him focus and kind of remind him that he's working. So yeah, that's, I think, pretty much it. Like I said, he's still got some gear up in Rexburg that I don't have here right now in Arizona, but I will show you guys that when we get back up to college. But yeah, that's kind of a basic rundown of all of his gear, the things that we use on occasion and every day, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching.